All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the next episode on the Tag Performance and Nutrition. Tag Performance and Nutrition, sponsored by Tag Performance and Nutrition, the Together Achieving Greatness show. This episode, again, is brought to you by Tag Performance and Nutrition. I am your host, Trevor Gutting, owner, lead coach at Tag Performance and Nutrition. And before we jump into this week's topic, just wanted to make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel, so you can click the little link down below, and make sure you're liking the videos if you are getting good information from them that you are utilizing in your training, in your nutrition, in your overall life. But I want to jump in today and talk about a topic that you hear a lot about, and that is progress. Making progress towards your fitness, towards your health, your wellness goals, and why so many people think that the only way to make progress is weight loss. It's the scale. Using the scale is the only way to tell that number on that scale, and that's not the best way to tell that you're making progress. Sure, there's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight, or a lot of people need to lose weight, or should lose weight. It's become an epidemic in our country, in our world. Obesity, overweight, whatever you want to call it. It's so common nowadays. It's looked on as like, it's crazy how nowadays it's looked on, if you're eating healthy or eating well, as there's something wrong with you. Whereas all the eating, all the crap and getting overweight, that's looked on as the norm, the normal thing, because so many people are overweight and obese and suffer from that and struggle with that. And I've been there, done that, through the college days, the drinking, all the partying, all that, eating junk all the time. That's not a good way to live. And again, losing weight is a great thing, but it's not the only way to tell if you're losing or making progress and making strides towards that better life, towards the person that you want to ultimately be. Because again, there's nothing wrong with having a weight loss goal, but it's more importantly to figure out why you're really actually doing that, why you need it. Maybe it's just so you have better health markers, so you can play with your kids. Maybe it's so you can chase the grandkids, so you can have energy to do the things you love in life, no matter what that is, whether that's just spending time with family, being an athlete, going for a bike ride, I don't know, whatever it may be. Just being able to enjoy life and live the best life possible. And your weight can help with that. But again, that it's one of the things when I'm working with people, they always want, they want to lose the weight. They're so stuck in that mindset of getting on the scale, seeing that number go up or down or stay the same, whatever it may be. And yes, the scale is just one tool to use to measure something. That's all it does. It tells you your weight at that moment that you step on the scale. There's so many things that come into play when you're weighing yourself and tracking your progress. Time of day, what you ate, when you're weighing yourself. If you're consistent on the same time, that's the best. And there's nothing wrong with using it. I use a scale with myself and a lot of clients to help them keep track, see where they're at, get feedback, biofeedback on how things are affecting their weight and that type of thing. But that's not the only thing we do to measure progress. There's so many more better ways to measure progress, even if aesthetics are one of your main goals and looking better. And there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong. Who doesn't want to look good naked? So, there's so many other ways to measure progress than just looking at a number on the scale. Because again, like I said, that is just one thing. It is just a number on the scale. So don't get stressed. One day your weight's up, and the next day it's down. The next day it's back up. Oh, you jumped 5 pounds over the weekend. It's not all fat. So don't worry about that. The scale, your weight's going to fluctuate. There's so many different things, like I said, that play a factor in your weight daily. Your sleep, what you ate. Maybe you ate later at a night. You ate later one night than the night before, or whatever. Maybe you drank a ton of water. Maybe you had more salt, so sodium, or more carbs, because carbs absorb more water, and hold on to that. So there's just different things that play a role in that. So your weight's not gonna, if you're 300 pounds and you want to get down to 200 pounds, it's not going to be a steady, it's not going to be a straight downward angle, downward line, straight line down to your goal. It's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. But over a period of time, that trend is that, I don't know which way we're going here, but that trend is going to be down. If you go the middle road, it's going to be trending down and that comes from consistent habits, behaviors, those types of things. But again, your weight is just going to fluctuate. So don't use the scale as the only thing to tell if you're making progress. So what are some other ways that making progress? And I like to call these things like wins, just little wins, and celebrating these little wins. So you should celebrate these wins as they happen, because that's going to help keep you motivated, keep you rolling, keep your mind on the end goal, and knowing that there is no such thing as an end goal. The nutrition, health, wellness, this should be something for you the rest of your life. There's no, 90 days, I'm going to lose 30 pounds or whatever it may be. Sure, you may do that, but what after that? You still got to be healthy. Losing weight is pretty easy, honestly, if you put in the work, put in the effort. But most people can lose weight, but then they just put it all right back on because they don't develop habits, they don't develop behaviors that can lead them to a life of good health and wellness. So some other things to look at progress in the gym. Let's say you're getting stronger, you're lifting more weight. That's a great way to look at progress. If one week you were doing body weight squats and 2 months later you're doing a 50-pound kettlebell or dumbbell, a goblet squat, that's some great progress. And when it comes to that, adding weight is not the only way to progress in the gym either. Think of things like moving better technique, better form on your squats or on your hip hinges. Maybe you start hip hinging and you're making it look a little pretty squatty. Then you practice and do it, get those repetitions, get that memory, the muscle memory, and you're getting a good hip hinge. You're getting those hips back. You're driving that butt back, and you're not squatting as much. You're making an actual hinge. So maybe your push-up form is getting better. Whatever it may be, your bench press form, your technique is better. That's another way to progress in the gym. Other ways to progress is doing more reps at a number of sets or at a certain weight. So back to that goblet squat. So we got that 50-pound goblet squat after a couple months of mastering technique, mastering body weight squats, ramping up the weight with the goblet squats for over a few weeks. Next thing, you're doing that 50 pounds. Maybe you do it 5 reps this week, 6 reps the next week, 7 the week after that, 8 the week after that. That's another way to progress. So look at these progress in the gym as wins and celebrate them. Again, tracking your weight is great, but it's not the only way to make progress. In the gym, like I said, getting stronger, getting faster, getting more powerful, jumping higher, doing more reps, better form, better technique. Those are some ways to progress inside of the gym that are not necessarily anything to do with your weight. And when it comes to looks, again, I think I mentioned this earlier, but yes, the scale is one thing, but there are better ways that I like to have people track how they're looking, because again, your weight can stay the same. Maybe you're losing fat but building muscle. And again, fat does not weigh more than muscle. A pound of fat is still a pound of same weight as a pound of muscle. It's like the old thing they teach you in elementary school math. What weighs more, a pound of pennies or a pound of feathers? They're the same. So again, the weight on the scale might not be changing, but a great way to track progress is body weight or body measurements. So get a tape measure, measure your chest, measure your legs, measure your neck, measure your arms. maybe some of your biceps are getting bigger. That's a good way. Or your waist is getting smaller, butt's getting bigger, legs are getting, whatever your goals are. Track and measure your different body parts to see how they are doing, how they are growing or shrinking, whatever, again, your goals are. Because, again, you could be adding muscle, but the weight is staying the same, and the scale's not budging that much. Another way to do it is use progress pictures. Take pictures. I think that is the best way to do it. And it doesn't mean you have to post them up on social media or anything. A lot of times it's good for you just to see that. And for your as a coach, I love when people give me progress pictures. A lot of people are so nervous of being judged, and yes, that's a fair thing. We're all self-conscious about the way we look and stuff, but honestly, really, no one really cares. And it's great for a coach. I want my clients to send me pictures, especially online ones, because I don't see them all the time. But it's great to do progress pictures, see then versus now versus 2 years down the road versus 3 years down the road. And you can look back and see and compare yourself, because that's the best comparison you can do. You don't need to compare yourself to all the people online, the influencers, all that garbage, but comparing yourself from now to a month ago to a month from now, and just seeing how you're transformed and your body's changing. Maybe you notice, you see a little definition in your abs, or your pecs are getting bigger, or you turn around and you look at your back and you can actually see some back muscles that you've never seen before. Things like that. That's ways of telling progress and seeing how, based on your looks. So that's a good one, is progress pictures. I think that's the best way to track progress, is take, not necessarily before and after, because there's no after. It's now and then 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. It's progress over a period of time. Again, this is something you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. If you're coming in looking, I just want to do it for 30 days, 90 days, then you have the wrong viewpoint. I will not work with people who are like that, because you just want the short term. We got to get to that mindset that it's a long-term process. You want to do something for the rest of your life. This should be part of your life, not your entire life, but it becomes part of your lifestyle. So using progress pictures is a great way just to see, just looking in the mirror and just noticing, I can tell I'm thinner. My face is thinner. You can't tell me because of my beard. But that's one of the first things I remember when I finally started getting in shape, is my chin was, my double chin was gone. My face was shrinking. You could tell that, not as much fat on the face, things like that. So looking in the mirror, using progress pictures, just seeing those things, and then you're walking in, visiting family or whatever, and they're like, hey, what have you been doing? You look good. Those types of things. And it always feels good to get compliments like that. So those are other ways to measure your looks, not just the number on the scale, like I said. So weight is one thing, but it could be up and down depending on if you're burning fat, building muscle, whatever it may be. There's so many different things that play a role in that. So those are ways to track your progress and look at progress. And again, it's not all just about looks and weight and numbers on the scale. It's about feeling good. Track some biofeedback. Track things like your mood. How are you feeling? How much energy do you have? How's your digestion? That's a good way to track progress. Are you pooping each day? How's your hydration levels? Are you drinking more water? Are you peeing pure yellow, or are you peeing like lemonade, lighter yellow? So track these things, measuring these things, biofeedback, energy, mood, how you're feeling, just your attitude, your those types of things. These things that are not necessarily, I don't know how to say it, real like common, like that you would really think of as things that can tell of your progress. But feeling better, that's the main thing. Who doesn't want to feel better? I mean, a lot of people probably think they feel great, but that's just because they're living in the norm right now, where they're eating ultra processed food, fast food, all this junk all the time. They're not exercising. They're like, I feel fine. then you start actually exercising, you moving more, you're eating better, and you're like, wow, I used to feel like crap. I know I've been there, done that. It's um, those types of things. It's just that's a great way to tell if you're making progress. Is just the way you feel, um, your confidence level. If you're building more, you feel more confidence when you're training. You're getting stronger. You're looking better. You're losing weight. You're building muscle. Your confidence level rises as well. It's a huge thing that comes, and that's a way to tell if you're making progress is how confident you are in the gym, outside of the gym, those types of things at work, because all these things play a role. Um, Exercise, nutrition, sleep, they all have an impact on your life outside of the gym, a big impact. And that's another way to measure progress is it affecting the rest of your life. If it's making it better, you're able to play with your kids more, you're able to chase the grandkids, keep up with them, you have energy to do the things you love, like I said before. You're performing better at work. These are all other ways to look at your progress that you're making, not just, oh, that number on the scale, I didn't lose any weight today, my weight went up 3 pounds overnight. Oh, don't worry about that. Yes, it's a mental mind, f's up your mind and mentally screws you up a lot, but it's learning that mindset, and that's another way to progress is work on that mindset, do that mental work to think more positively. Again, we're not always going to be positive. That's part of being a human being. But think more positively. Work on yourself. Work on your self-care, taking care of yourself. And when it comes to things like nutrition, ways to make progress is maybe you notice usually where you'd reach for that bag of chips, you grab an apple instead. Or you cut out you usually drink a pop or soda, wherever you're from. I call it pop. But you grab a pop, instead you get a glass of water. And you just notice these habits that you're doing. You're reaching for healthier options. You're not reaching for the easy, quick, ultra-processed junk food that you normally would. You're making better choices. You're eating more fruits. You're eating more vegetables. You're adding more protein. You're drinking more water. You're eating better fats and carbs. All these good things that you should be doing. And building these habits and behaviors that are going to ultimately help you reach that better life, the best version of you. And it's just noticing that. So progress could be that. And progress for someone could mean maybe you're like I was at a certain time where I was super overly strict and I wouldn't have anything besides quote unquote healthy foods. Maybe progress for you is being able to enjoy some pizza on the weekend with your friends or some ice cream with the kids, whatever it may be. That could be progress too. There's different ways to look at it because you don't want to be this all or nothing, and then because that way of thinking screws you up too, and then you get so far messed up, screw up your hormones, those types of things. You're restrictive, not eating anything off plan. Again, there's so many different ways to make progress. Ultimately, the goal is whatever your goal is to build habits and behaviors that can help you get there. Track the progress on the way. Just like you track your weight, you track your numbers in the gym. Things you can do, you can track your calories. You got to measure things. You got to track things because what gets measured, what is it saying? What you track gets measured, something like that. I think you probably know what I'm trying to say is what you're measuring, you can know, then you can, what you're tracking, you can measure. So you know what's going on. You know how your body's reacting to these or how much food you need to lose weight or add muscle or whatever it may be. So track things, measure things, keep things, because these are going to help you take progress. Again, this falls back to having a plan. And if you're just willy-nilly going into the gym and just doing a bunch of random stuff, you don't track any weights, you don't know if you're making progress, you don't know if you're getting stronger, because you need to move forward, have progress, make progress, and track things that you were doing in the gym, outside of the gym. It just gives you something to measure and, again, compare yourself from right now to yourself 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now. You can look back on all these things that you've tracked or measured, and you're able to see what progress you made or how you've gotten better. So those are things you can do, again, with your nutrition, with your sleep. You can track all these things, measure all these things. There's ways to do it now. If you have any questions on that, reach out. I can show you my favorite ways to do those. But what gets tracked gets measured, and that's the best way to tell if you're making progress, is measuring these things in the different ways. Like I said, you have the scale. You can do in the weight room, you got your weights, you got better form, better technique. Video yourself in the gym. That's going to help. So you watch yourself, or send it to your coach. Or if you're not training with someone in person, like people I train remotely, send me videos so I can check their form. Or if you're working, get a good coach, because they can get you feedback on your form and make sure you're doing things right. Hopefully, I mean, good coach will, not all coaches, but give you feedback on your form and stuff right there in person at that moment. So there's so many different ways to make progress. That's kind of the main point I want you guys to take away from this this video today, or whenever you're watching, I guess, if you're not checking it out live, is to look at different ways of progress and not just think of the only way to make progress is losing weight or that number on the scale, because maybe you want to gain weight. You want to put on you're a youth athlete, a little string bean, looking to get bigger and stronger so you can get faster and more explosive and powerful for your sport. So weight loss is not the only goal, the only way to measure. Again, scale is not the only way to tell, even if weight loss is one of your goals. And there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. But the scale is not the best way to tell, the only way to tell if you're making progress. There's so many other different ways that we covered in this, but I don't want to keep it too long, guys, today. I just wanted to get in here, get another episode filmed, and talk about progress a little bit. So if you guys have any questions on progress or want to know any more, feel free to comment below or send me an email at trevor@tagpn.com. That's TAGPN.com. Trevor's TREVOR. So again, and if you guys could subscribe to my page, help me get the word out, help me spread so I can spread the good word of TAG, Performance and Nutrition, performing and helping you guys become athletes for life, building the best versions of yourself, and ultimately living the best life you can. So again, subscribe to the video below, like the video if you thought there was any good information, anything you can take away from this. Hopefully help a little bit of mindset so you're not just thinking that scale is the only thing that's telling if you're making progress. But again, guys, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon.